All right, thanks so much for staying. We'll go straight into the stories. And a busy weekend we anticipate with two Ghanaian clubs, Asante Kotoko and Ashanti Gold, in action in the CAF Inter-Club competitions. Now, Kotoko have arrived safely in Tunisia and will have their first training today ahead of their game against Etoile du Sahel on Sunday. Of course, they must either win or draw to make the group stage of the competition. Well, chairman of the side, Amoako, believes they will be able to scale this hurdle despite admitting it will be tough.
We are working very hard in training. We've seen the Tunisians and the tricks they play and how we think they would approach the game. We are working very hard to ensure that whatever they do will be able to surmount all their tricks and get qualification back home.
In terms of support, yes, the fans always, they are the stadium supporters. In terms of financial support from other, bodies, are we getting?
You saw me with officials of the ministry talking about squeezing my face left and right. It's very difficult getting them to help. It's not easy.
All right, so that's Amoako, CEO of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Now, the original rivals, Ashanti Gold, will be hoping to make it to the next stage of the CAF Confederation Cup when they come up against RS Berkane of Morocco. Well, the Miners go into the game having won the first leg 3-2 at the Obuasi Clay Stadium a fortnight ago. Now, many have written them off due to the two superior away goals for Berkane, but Fred Papo, a GFA aspirant, believes that they can make it.
It's possible, everything is possible that Ashbo can survive in the second leg. Oh, they stand a chance. This is football. They stand a chance of qualifying. It looks difficult, but they stand a chance. Because their opponents did not have a solid defense. They can't. If they get fair officiating in the second leg, they will survive.
Well, let's go live on the phone lines and speak to veteran coach J.E. Sapon on both Asante Kotoko and Ashanti Gold. I mean, coach, realistically, what do you think are their chances going into the two games?
Well, realistically, the chances are bright, especially that of Kotoko, having won 2 goals against Etoile Sahel here. But we would like to look at the conditions in which they are going to play this match. Sometimes you wake up and then the player will tell you, look, I'm not feeling fine. I have malaria, I have that sort of thing. So we only hope and pray that everybody is fit for this match.
How about Ashanti Gold? I mean, theirs
is very dicey. I've been giving away 2 goals here in Kumasi, in Obuasi. But I still believe that with the right composure and the right tactical play, they can edge out Berkane.
As a coach, of course, giving away 2 goals here in Ghana, it gives Berkane an advantage of Ashanti Gold. What is it? If we're in the position of the Ash Gold coach, what is that one thing that we tell the players going into that game?
Well, you have to be effective in front of goal, play compact in the midfield, and make sure that Berkane doesn't play the game. Okay. And then you don't have to rush because you need to go to rush and to get into problems with the referee. So I think when these things are all brought together, they can sail through.
All right, coach. Thank you very much. You and I have an unfinished business, so definitely we'll get down to that. Thank you very much. So that was Coach J.E. Sapon, veteran coach, speaking to us on the chances of Ashanti Gold and Kumasi Asante Kotoko going into their respective games this weekend. So Kotoko are in Tunisia to face Etoile du Sahel and Ashanti Gold are in Morocco to play against RS Berkane. Well, we still have to stay on the low coast and inform GFA presidential aspirants will be vetted today ahead of the October 25 elections. Well, according to our checks, Kotoko, Amanda Clinton, Nanaya Amponsa, and George Ankama Mensah will go through the process today. Meanwhile, the FA has notified some aspirants for the Regional Football Association chairmanship positions who failed to satisfy all requirements after the initial screening process by the election committee to do so by 4 p.m. Today. Well, aspirants are to note that their nominations would be nullified if they fail to meet all the requirements by the deadline given them. Amanda Clinton is the only female candidate for the presidential election, but the Accra-based lawyer sees that as an advantage.
This is going to sound really strange, but this has been a non-issue my entire life in terms of being female. I don't know. Great. No, but I mean, in terms of even when I was working at the Attorney General's Department in Ghana for like 3.5 years, I think they're like 95% female at the time when we had a female Attorney General. So It was like, and that's one of the most powerful, departments in the country, as you know. But I've never been assessed on being female, and I think because I've never thought, I'm female.
Okay, but you're female, whether you like it or not.
I'm female. It's an advantage in terms of, I suppose, the package, the look, or whatever.
Is that an advantage?
It's an advantage because it gets you in the door. But it always it also happens to be what you say thereafter or how you package the message. And I think people are always pleasantly surprised because they expect me to come with a particular approach, whereas I come very over-prepared work-wise and I have a very firm plan. But being a woman has been a non-issue. As I said, the former EXCO, that is the GFO, completely male. They met with a whole bunch of lawyers and they decided to go with me in terms of the international arm. They didn't really think twice about it, and I don't think they have that much, engagement with women per se in the professional realm. But it was, again, because I was over-prepared for the meetings and got up to speed very quickly with what was happening as well as how I would address it. So being a female is a non-issue, but I think the guys would have to watch out because, I'm kind of good at doing this.
You're kind of good at doing this.
I think that I would be very good at re-engineering an organization that I personally helped to stay, and I was the only voice and in that movement in terms of everybody else was injuncted from speaking, and anybody who wasn't under the EXCO couldn't be bothered to be singled out. So if it took a woman to keep the GFA as an entity to stay, that everybody even had a place to go and drop their forms, it will certainly take a woman to take it to the next level and to ensure that it is the beacon of Africa once more in terms of football administration, and we do things in a world-class way and in a way that the world will have to come and look and see that, yes, it did indeed take Amanda Clinton to do so.
So Amanda Clinton is one of the presidential aspirants for the Ghana Football Association elections. So we hear more from her in our subsequent sports bulletins. But away from that, the 17th edition of the IWF World Athletics Championships kicks off later this evening in Qatar with more than 1,900 athletes from 210 countries expected to take part in the 24 events over 10 days. Now, Ghana's Joseph Paul, a member of the gold winning quartet at Rabat African Games, will take to the tracks on day one. That's today in the 100 meters prelims. My colleague George Adu Jr. is in Doha and has been interacting with Baf Hussein, who is General Secretary of the Ghana Athletics Association.
Meet here in Doha to try and answer a few of the questions that have been bothering our mind, of course, if you are an athletics enthusiast and all year. So one, for us Ghanaians, we're very, very interested then in what our 4x100 meters relay teams are definitely up here to do. Of course, now, the male team won gold in Rabat within a time of 38.38 seconds. Can they once again surprise us? Because they've got some very, very good guys to come up against, including the defending champions, Great Britain, who won in London there, beating Jamaica in the process. And USA also looking very good, of course, with a young man, Christian Coleman, who has run 9.81 and is looking really, really strong. So yeah, that's a big question. How about the female relay team for Ghana? The big question is, can they reproduce that performance that they got at the World Relay Championships in Tokyo? They finished 7th in all. So the question is, can they do it here? They look to be. We have a wonderful, wonderful team, and they're coming up with that. After answering those questions, we need to find out if Joseph Paul can stand up against the world's finest athletes in sprints. I'm talking Andy deGrasse, I'm talking Gatling, the defending champion, I'm talking Christian Coleman. Well, Joseph Paul has run 10.01 seconds already this year, and well, I'm sure the sky is the limit, but it's going to be very difficult. Let's see what he does. We also have a big question to answer. Who would definitely replace Usain Bolt? It's a big one, at least for now. Who will replace Usain Bolt right in the tracks? It's a big question there. All the guys are up there for it, and we'll be looking out in there. Africa has got 3 titles. We'll be looking to try and save. David Rudisha is not going to be here in Doha, but of course his time in 800 meters is up for anyone to try and break. There is a fantastic one as well, because Luvo Mayango of South Africa holds a record there in high jump, and he'll be hoping to keep it. Can he do it? Then, of course, we can talk about Beatrice Kepko in 3,000 steeplechase for women. It's a big one out here. The big question is if she can defend that or not. We'll try and get through it. There is no Mo Farah, so 10,000 meters, of course, and 5,000 meters are up for grabs. And we're asking ourselves the question whether the Ethiopian Bikele can't find a way around this. There's no Caster Semenya as well from South Africa, so 800 meters for the women is up for grabs as well. Did you know there's going to be a marathon at midnight here in Doha? That's going to be a big spectacle, and it's one we're all going to try and find out how all of that will go down.
All right, so that was my colleague George Ado's report. He's in Doha and he's going to go through the World Athletics Championship for us in the next 10 days. George is there, kind courtesy of DBS Industries Limited, Within Papa Pafie, and also Adonko Bites. Definitely, I will bring you more in our subsequent sports bulletins. I made mention of that interview he had with Bawa Fuseni, which yesterday we brought you highlights of that interview on pause. In our subsequent sports bulletins, we'll let you have it. But remember, this weekend there are matches in the major European leagues. In England, we're going to have great games. Liverpool, Sheffield will kick it off. Will start it off on Saturday. That will be the early kickoff, and then the late kickoff will be Manchester City, Everton. City are away to play against Everton. When you go to Italy, there will be games. Barcelona will play, Real Madrid. All of them will play. Join us at 2 on Sports today. Our major sports bulletin will bring you the fixtures of matches to expect this weekend in the major European leagues. My name is Benedict Owusu. Always a pleasure joining you on this platform. Thanks so much for watching. The show continues after this short break. Don't go away.